Hey guys, what's up? Thank you guys for joining us. We're in the studio here at Titan Medical Center, and we're with Titan athlete and Titan's own, the real Lois Lane, aka Rachel Daniels.
Hey guys, what's going on? Really excited to be here.
So Rachel is getting ready for her competition this weekend. Well, she's already ready, but we had her come in. We wanted her to kind of talk about kind of what her experience is, what she's went through, where she's at, and how much she's going to dominate this weekend, because we know she's going to dominate. She's ready all the way around. Physically, mentally, the girl's prepared. So we're excited to see it. So how have things been through this prep with you, Rachel?
Man, I've done a good amount of preps at this point, but every prep's different. But this one was super unique. Total change, total new package I'm bringing. I changed coaches 6 weeks out, so that was a huge leap of faith for me. But I always go with my gut feeling, and it totally worked out. So I'm coming on stage about 25 to 30 pounds heavier than my last show. Wow. So put on a lot of muscle in my off season, which I'm really, really excited about. I used to come in a little too lean and I'm a little flat for women's physique, so really have been applying the judges' feedback on that, and tried carb cycling this prep, which worked phenomenally with my physique.
Awesome.
Just really closely with my coach. So yeah, everything's been really successful. I had to bust ass to catch back up to get on the right timeline, because I was a little bit behind. I was looking about 12 weeks out at about 6 weeks out, so I had a couple weeks had to bust my ass. But towards the end, I got my cardio cut and my carbs are high, and I'm coming in full lean and, like you said, ready to dominate. So I'm very excited.
And listen, I've seen Rachel over the last couple of years. So listen, she always brings an amazing package to the stage. I've seen her on some of these different shows, and she was like, I remember the first time I seen Rachel on stage. It was a different show here in Florida, and at that point she was just diced. I mean, the girl was ready to go, like, at that point. So bringing on this 25 to 30 pounds of lean muscle mass, this isn't fat that she's putting on, it's lean mass. So at that point it's going to look even more incredible on you. So I'm really excited to see this. It's going to be awesome. So for people that don't know about bodybuilding competitions, what is the class? What are you competing in this weekend?
Right. So I'm competing in women's physique division. It's one step below women's bodybuilding and one step above figure. So it's a lot of muscle still, but the big difference between women's physique and women's bodybuilding is, I'd say, the posing, obviously, and then the factor of leanness. They don't want total just ribboning of all of the muscles, and maybe a little bit feathering of the glutes, but not like hard, not all that hard, grainy kind of stuff you see on the bodybuilder conditioning. So it's a fuller look, it's a more feminine look. It's still a newer division. It only came out less than 10 years ago, so it's my favorite division, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at, and that's probably where I'll stay.
Awesome. Diet-wise, so I think people have questions. How's the diet been like through this whole thing for you? Has it been pretty easy? Is it hard? Because obviously you're going to deplete down.
Right.
Food's coming down, but you said you've been carb cycling, so carbs been up, been down.
Right.
At this point, where are your carbs at? Are they real high? Or are they real low?
Oh, they're pretty high now. So I started with my new coach about 6 weeks ago, and he started me initially on, I was doing like maybe 2 days of just proteins and fats, and then a carb day. Some days I would go 4 days with just proteins and fats and 0 carbs, and then a carb day, and then I was doing like crazy hit cardio on top of that. And we did that for maybe a 2-week period, and gradually, as the cardio and everything and my body started taking shape, snapped into shape really quick, and he was able to start doubling my carb days. So I would have double the carbs on that day, and then it changed to carbs and a refeed at night, and then so I started getting a break towards the end. But for a while, I've never had no carbs. I've had minimal carbs, but they've always been in there. So that was whoa for me. I was like, whoa, new game. But then it got a lot better towards the end. About a week and a half out, I've been starting to get loaded every night with carbs, and he totally cut my cardio. So that was honestly, diet wise, this has probably been one of the easier preps for me. I'm used to like just being near the point of death at this point.
Depleted down.
But I'm feeling good and I'm feeling full and healthy, and that's great because it gives me a lot of extra time to practice things for my aesthetics, like my posing and stuff, which is super important on stage.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not just getting up there and looking phenomenal. The posing is going to be along with it as well, and that's got a whole different aspect. So at that point, you've got to bring two different things to the table right there.
Yeah,
so that's huge. That's definitely huge. So this weekend is when the show's going on.
Yes.
Right? So it's here in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. So we're going to be local here. Really excited. National qualifier for her. That means hopefully she's going to kick butt, win this thing, and then we're going to go on and get the pro card for her. So that's the plan, and I'm really excited because, you know, she follows a plan to a T, which is real nice. Now, one other question for you. So how have the therapies from Titan Medical Center, obviously, you know, you're a Titan athlete, you've used the Titan Medical therapies. You know, what do you think has been your favorite? What's been the one that's helped you the most, do you think, through this prep or in general?
I used BPC for a while because I had some injuries, and that helped me so much. And with just my injuries healing, and as my training I took a step back from my training, a little less intense, and I had more time to heal, so that helped me. So I've stopped that, but that was like a go-to for me for a while, and you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And glutathione, love. I use that every morning. I use my Titan Complete every morning. Those are probably my two favorites. I don't think I'll ever like take those out. It just gives me everything I need all in one, and it's so much more convenient than buying like 50 bottles of different things and just putting all these orals in your body all the time. Boom, right there. And then finally, the game changer, I believe, is going to be the Hercules potion. Especially, like, you know, back in the pump-up room,
Absolutely.
20 minutes before we get on stage, you know, one in each delt, and just come on, boom, just blow them away. I'm really, like, I've used the Hercules during my workouts, and it's looked insane. I used it the other day on my last shoulder workout, and I was, like, popping everywhere, so I was like, oh, it's going to be ridiculous on stage. So I'm really excited to try that one.
I'm really, really excited for it. I mean, obviously, I'm glad these therapies have helped, and they're going to help you with competitions or everyday life, quality life, whatever it is. You know, one thing I didn't know before, I think this last week, was I never knew what trials and tribulations you went through with your back.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell them kind of what happened with the back thing? So, yeah, I seen the pictures posted on Facebook, and I just couldn't believe it. And when you see her form now to what she's had to go through and to even get like this, it's a hell of a story. It's really, so I'm really proud of you for even seeing that. Like, you know, you find these little snippets, and I never knew about, you know, my athletes, I think I know like most of it, and pow, right out of left field. So what exactly happened with the back, or what did you have to go through to really get to where you are now? Because, I mean, somebody that looks at you right now, you haven't had any problems. You're in perfect shape. You're a hell of an athlete. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons so that I even made that post was, so I kind of, well, first I'll set the backstory with what happened to my back. So, I was adopted when I was younger, so my adopted family didn't have any medical history of me. They didn't really know what to expect, and when I was like around 11 or 12, I went to the doctor and I got an x-ray, and they were like, you have some scoliosis, which, if you don't know, is
curvature of the back of the spine.
Yep. Kyphosis is this way, you know, scoliosis is this way. So it was mild at the time, and I was a gymnast, and I was like, that was my life. So they were like, you probably need to wear a back brace, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm training all the time. So by the time I was 14, I went back to a spine surgeon because at that point my back was like actually like changing, and I was having trouble like breathing because my spine was starting to push on my major organs like my lungs and stuff. And the doctor straight up told me, he was like, look, you need back surgery immediately. You're going through puberty. Your spine's growing the most right now.
Right.
And if you don't get it, like, you're not going to make it to your 20th birthday. It's just not going to happen. And I was like, well, I guess that's my decision. Like, I have to do it now. So I ended up undergoing, I donated a lot of blood for myself because I was going to need a transfusion. All Children's Hospital. I underwent almost entire spinal fusion. So it's kind of like a bowling, I explain like a bowling alley. So like if my spine is where you throw the bowling ball, the bumpers would be where I have 2 titanium rods. They're 12 inches each. And then I have 24 screws, 12 on each side, and 6 hooks hooking the screws, 3 on each side.
Wow.
Yeah, so and then, I mean, I was in ICU for a while. I got released from the hospital. I had to learn how to walk again. My mom used to help me every day walk around our pool 3 times, and sometimes it took us an hour just to do that. But she stuck with me, and I had a great support system, and I was like totally blessed by God that I was adopted into a family who could even have medical insurance and any of that. So, but I mean, my doctor did tell me, he was like, your gymnastics career is over. You're not going to be, you can't bend. My spine's fused to this titanium. Right. So, virtually I can only bend like that, my sacral part of my spine, like my tailbone area. So he was like, yeah, you're going to have to make some life changes. You're just not going to be like who you used to be. And that always kind of stuck with me. And I was like, I just never saw myself like that. I never saw myself as, disabled or like a victim or like, I can't do this. And my parents never raised me like that either. They were like, get back out there, do whatever you feel like you can do. So I did. I started weightlifting, and my spine is completely healed and fused. I haven't had any issues. The only thing I don't really do is conventional deadlift, just because it puts a lot of pressure on the part that's not fused. But I lift more than people with perfect spines. So, but I did post that not to just like be like, look at me, look what I can do with what I've been through, because I don't think that's a very big deal compared to like what some people have really been through. But I did post that just to show and like let people know, because I know there's a lot of people out there with, you deal with a lot of people with Titan who has health issues, and people feel limited, and it's easy to feel like when you see all these amazing bodybuilders, you're like, wow, they're so lucky they were born with these perfect bodies and these perfect genetics to where they can just go into this sport and look amazing, and they're just so blessed. Like, and I never had that, and I want to tell those people, like, a lot of us aren't perfect, and I have to pose different. I have to pose what feels like crooked to me, but it looks really aesthetically pleasing and symmetrical to the audience. So, I have strength and differences. There's a lot of different things. So I just want to like give people that message. Nobody's perfect, and you don't have to have great genetics to be a bodybuilder. If you have okay genetics and you're the hardest worker in the room, you're going to beat somebody with great genetics every time.
Absolutely. And I honestly, I think it's really motivating for people out there. I think it's helping people to even put that message out there, because it's awesome. I mean, people can definitely, like you said, they might be having went through something like you went through, and at that point, it gives them motivation. It shows them it can be done. Yeah. So that's the real big lesson with this. It's awesome, and she's basically like an X-Men, man. She's like Wolverine. She got titanium in her. She's indestructible. So this is X-23 over here.
I like that.
But no, it's really cool. So I find it motivating. I thought it, I thought it was like, it's instrumental for some people. So you don't know who it's going to affect out there.
Yeah. And I got a ton of great feedback. I just got flooded with like all these people's stories about like, people were in Iraq and had these back injuries, people, who just had tons of injuries, and they were like, now you give me faith to go back in the gym, because like, if you're doing that, like, I have no excuse not to.
Absolutely.
And that's what I wanted.
Very, very cool.
We're all the same.
Absolutely. Great message, and all overall great. So that was awesome. All right, so before you leave here, before we get off this camera, we did get some fan mail for Rachel.
Oh, my God.
So it came to Titan Medical Center, which is really cool. I mean, listen, I've got a lot of athletes, right? And I've had people write me and stuff like that on social media about my athletes, but I've never got a letter like this for an athlete. And I thought maybe I would at this point, and when I came in, I was just like, this is really cool, and we have to do this on camera. Okay?
I'm nervous.
And she's like, oh, my God, what is it, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll just read it to you. She has not read it. She has no idea what this says. So let's just read it out there. And this was from Dario Fruviva. And he's from Queen Village, New York.
Oh, okay.
He also sent a letter with an already stamped envelope.
Oh, my God.
Okay? So what's he going to ask for? Let's see. So this is what it says. It says, Dear Mrs. Daniels, I hope this letter finds you well. My name is Dario, and I want to say that you are a great bodybuilder. I'm not someone who has much to say. So I sent you this letter to show my appreciation and to request your autograph with a self-addressed, self-stamped envelope for your convenience. Thank you in advance for taking the time to read my letter and to send me the autograph. Sincerely, Dario.
Aw, that's cute.
Really cool, you know?
I don't know how many people have called me Miss Daniels. That's my mom.
See, I mean, listen, you know, she gets much respect out here, you know, and this is just one. And who knows who this person is? Big shout out to Dario, and I'll have her sign the autograph card. He sent like a little little card like this, like an index card, just to sign. We'll send it back to him. I think it was really cool.
That's
Maybe get a
super
shirt,
sweet.
sign a shirt for him
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So listen, if you guys think this was motivational, or you guys like Rachel or any of the other athletes, as long as you're respectful and send something like this in, I'm sure we'd send you something back. Okay, so I appreciate Rachel. I can't wait to see you dominate this weekend. I've been
Thank
really,
you.
really proud to have you a part of the team and a part of this whole journey, and I can't wait for the future.
Thanks. I'm so excited, and I'm totally want to thank my Titan Medical family, helping me out with my shows and my awesome Titan outfit.
Gotta make sure she's looking good all the
Just
time,
taking
right?
care of me on the inside and the outside, and just being super amazing. Like people think that bodybuilding is they say it's a single man sport, and it's really not. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that make the athlete, and the athlete gets a lot of praise on stage, but I couldn't have done without you guys, and you guys are my family. So thank you so much.
I love you.
Love ya.
She loves you. I can't wait.
so
So,
excited.
guys, come out and check out Rachel. Make sure you support her, okay? So if you're in Tampa, there'll be the show, Tampa Pro. You guys can check it out online or go into the show and maybe get to see her on stage, kick butt, and straight dominate, okay? If not, listen, stay tuned. We're going to have more of Rachel and a lot of the different athletes out there. Share some of the content, show what they're doing and where they're at in life or in their competition. So I appreciate you coming in, Rachel, and being on here.
Always.
All right, so we will see you guys soon. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks.